Hello everybody, I'm going to show you what we did yesterday. We are going to start making a project called colorworms. This is just for practice for mixing and blending colored pencils like this or this one. But before we can start adding color, we have got to do something like this. And that's what today's lesson is going to be about, making a Sharpie marker color worms. Some things that I want you to be able to do is to create a lot of motion and movement um, in this project. I want things to grow. I want things to shrink. Um, and that's going to create an interesting, cool composition for us to practice coloring. So here is a few examples of some color worms. I want you to notice how thick these sections are because we will be coloring inside of it. And then I think this is a good example of things that are getting really big and then getting pinched really small and getting big again, and a lot of motion and movement. So what you're going to need is a blank piece of paper, a Sharpie marker, and the first step is to make a gentle curve or a heel in the middle of your paper. Anything like that will do. Um, and then we're going to get 6 or 7 dots on here. So 1, 2, and I'm going to have a variety of different lengths. So this is pretty medium. These are too close together. This is going to be far apart, medium again, far apart, and close. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Now we're going to start drawing some football shapes or some arches. So that's an arch. It's a good idea to have in mind how far away your arch is before you start drawing, because if I start to aim here, but then I have to go over to this dot, it's not going to be quite an arch. So I want a nice gentle sweeping curve. And then the paper can be our last point. So I'll finish this one off as well. I find it easier to turn my paper. And these are the beginning stages of the worms that we are going to create. This is called optical illusion art because it's tricking the eye into thinking that things are shrinking and growing. So at this point of the artwork, I just want you to pick one and do 5 to 6 sections. So I'm going to start in the middle, not that you have to, but I'm going to start making this get bigger, and I'll show you how to do that. Each time I make a line, I'm going to go to the dot. So here, I start at the dot, and I end at the dot. I start, and I end. But I do want this worm to move to the right or to the left. So I'm going to choose the right. And what I'm going to do is when I start at the dot, I'm going to share the path before I break away. And then I'll just have it move more to the right. So I share, 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 break away, and go back to the dot. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to share this path a whole lot longer before I break away. Now it's okay to even break away sooner. So watch what I do here is I'm going to break away right there and then join sooner. And you see now the worm is starting to shift that way. If you feel more comfortable starting here and then watch how I rejoin right there. And I kind of curved it a little bit. My hand wasn't as steady. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sections. That's good. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to go here. Because it's small, I'm going to make it get larger and probably go over to the right a little bit. So here we go. I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to color inside of all these sections. So I'm making sure that they're big. Oh, let's go one more. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. So now I'm going to switch it over and I'm going to do this one. Not here yet. I'm going to do this one. And I think I want to move this to the left and then back to the right. Start at the dot, end at the dot. Now I'm going to start going this way. So I'm going to show you how instead of making it bigger, I'm going to start making it smaller. So I'm going to share the path here and then make it smaller. Share and then join back up. So you can see I'm starting to get some motion and movement. Now the reason that I kind of pick and choose some that are farther apart is whenever I make things grow out, that means I'm pinching this one off. So I have a line here and I have a line here, and I have to share that line. I'm not creating a new outer edge, I'm sharing the edge. So here I start at the dot, I go up, I break off, and I come back to the dot. Up, 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 break off, back to that dot. It's important to keep that gentle arching curve. And now it's no longer getting pinched. Now it's starting to get big. And it's starting to grow and expand. And whenever I get to the tip of the paper, I just let it fade off. Okay, that's why I'm working with a piece of paper underneath so I don't get marker on my desk or table. So you just continue that with the rest of your worms. So let's see a couple things that might happen is right here. This worm touched 2 over. So let me show you here. I'm going to share the path. And I'm coming up and it shared a line with a worm 2 over and it pinched this one off. So let's finish this one. It's okay if this just fades and gets squished into nothing or underneath. Just like that. Now this one's going to be interesting. It's going to almost get pinched into nothing, but then it's going to start getting bigger again. How big? I don't know yet. I'm going to fade that one there. And I'm actually going to let that one touch there. So that means that this one gets pinched off and fades away. When you start getting to the edges, like this one, let me finish this worm up a little bit first. We're going to fade him going to the right. What happens if we wrap him around? Look at this. We'll keep wrapping. I don't know what's going to happen here. Ooh, maybe we can attach this back to this guy. Is that possible? I don't know. I'm going to stop it like that. But the point is, just let this curve go off the edge of the paper. You don't always have to bring it back to the dot on the edge. Okay. So finish this up until you have a project that looks like that. And again, if some of the things that I want to look out for, some don'ts, is don't have all your worms going straight up. That creates a very boring composition. Don't have your sections so small that you have no room to color inside. Some people do that. Try to have a nice flowing line where it arches smooth and it connects smooth, and don't try not to have things that kind of like are shaky or start and stop like that. All right, so that's what we're shooting for today, and good luck.